Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Now, one of the great things about going to Landscape Ontario Congress is that all the suppliers are there with their new and latest products. So I get to go around and take a look at all the different types of things you're going to see in garden centers throughout Ontario this coming spring, which is always nice. You always want to see what's new, what's old is new again, and all of that stuff that we have always experienced. So J.C. Bakker is a wholesale nursery here in St. Catharines, and they don't sell direct, but they do sell into the garden centers throughout Canada and the United States. Result is that you're going to see a lot of their plant material in garden centers in your area. So I thought I would cover a number of their new introductions for 2016. Now, they have a wide range of plant material for the garden. So they're not just roses, they're not just fruit trees, they're a little bit of everything, which is kind of nice. It's sort of a well-rounded grower who really knows what they're doing. So the first one I'm going to do is, of course, goji berry. Now, goji berries, you need two different kinds within a reasonable distance of each other in order to get a good fruit set. They're hardy to zone 5. Generally, their height is about 12 feet and spreads about 7. So they're not what you would call the smallest. The darker the fruit, the more that the sweetness is there, but also all the good stuff that you get in goji berries. Now, with the first one, which is called Big Life Berry, it's going to have a gray-green leaves. They're small, they're in clusters, but it sort of sprawls. So you know that you're going to have to sort of contain and control this particular plant. The fruit color, of course, is red. The fruit is produced up until the first heavy frost, so lots and lots of fruit. The second one is Sweet Life Berry, and the Sweet Life Berry, again, zone 5, 12 foot in height and 7 foot in spread. As they grow older and they get more mature on the plant, of course, sweeter, just like most of the goji berries, and juicy, bright red fruit. They sort of look more elongated and they look like small sweet peppers. Now, with the goji berries, of course, blooming till frost, you should always look at the flowers. And in this particular case, they're a brilliant royal purple. So you've got a plant with royal purple flowers throughout the growing season, followed by ripening red fruit. So a nice plant, but big, again. Now, northern oaks, the pin oak, is probably one of the ones that you'll see grow quicker than most, is more adaptable than most of the oaks. And so the one that they've introduced is called Shooting Star. Now, Shooting Star, zone 3, so we're good and hardy. Typical shape of a pin oak, and that is 40 feet high and 20 feet wide. Dark green foliage. They got the little spines on the leaves, etc., that are typical of pin oaks, so they're interesting. The fall color is a brick red, so definitely nice, with a grayish bark. So it sort of stands out in winter as well. J.C. Bakker is also having a mountain ash. Now, mountain ash can be a little susceptible to fire blight. So if you're in an area where there's a lot of fire blight, not always a good selection. But this one happens to be good for as a lawn specimen. Flowers are white, the berries are showy. It's conical, which means it's sort of very vertical accent, which makes it good for slightly smaller properties. And that is excellent. Hardy to zone 3. It's got a height of 40 feet and a spread of just 16 feet. Now, they also carry, as I said, some other types of plants, and spireas are one of them. Now, there is one called First Edition Superstar. Now, this one is, again, really hardy, which is what I like, because The hardier the plant, usually what happens is it's more dependable on a good and bad winter. And we've had a few bad winters recently, so these would have come through quite nicely. This one is called First Edition Superstar, hardy to zone 3, height's only 2 feet, spreads 4 foot. It's very compact. The foliage is dark green, but the new growth gets sort of a scarlet red. Blossoms are pink, and they bloom all summer long. So a nice little addition to a smaller garden. And because they're only 2 feet tall, they blend in mid-border, so you can plant smaller perennials or bulbs between and around, and larger shrubs and evergreens and plants of larger height in behind, putting them into clusters so they contrast both in shape, size, and color. So that's always a good thing. Now, Woodgilia is one that J.C. Bakker is introducing for 2016. Now, this one's Blooming Easy Crimson Kisses. I like that, Crimson Kisses. Forget the blooming easy part, just go with Crimson Kisses. Hardy to zone 4, and it's got a 3-foot spread, so it's a little more subdued than some of the really old big ones. And it reblooms, and reblooms well. So it gives you the red flowers throughout the summer. They're sort of bell-shaped, and of course, being a smaller plant, a little more compact. This one, another one that's great on smaller landscapes and smaller properties. Let's just say we'll call this one honeysuckle. But this is the honeysuckle that you eat. These are Sugar Mountain blue sweet berries. And this one is hardy to zone 3. It's got a height of 6 foot and a spread of 6 foot. Again, no special needs in soils. It's a native shrub, super hardy. This one came from the collection in the Czech Republic, so it gives you bigger, tastier berries, and it's easy to grow as a hedge. The other one is Super Mountain Balalaika. Now, this one again is a honeysuckle, zone 3, 6 foot by 6 foot. It is the pollinator for the Sugar Mountain Blue, so you're going to need one of each. Abundant sweet fruits, 1 inch long, half an inch wide. It is, when the two varieties are planted near each other, you're going to get a lot more fruit, and it's therefore always a good thing. Again, this one is one of those fruits they recommend because they're good for you. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.